Okay, so I just want to say welcome and great work for going through all this introductory section and how the story develops with form and structure and the narrative and so on. Now we had come to it's in the details, a detailed walk through the verses with new tools. So this is kind of where I walk with you through the specific verses. We go down a level, not looking from the bird's eye view, but more from the frogs or the frog's eye view, down on the ground, and we look for the details. And we'll do this, as I mentioned, in three from three perspectives with three different tools. This is this section. We will start by literary commentaries, and then we will go through historical commentaries, and then theological, and so on. We start right here. So bear with me, this is going to be great. So we start in Matthew 1:1, where he has the word book. Matthew's approach to the beginning of the gospel is unique among the evangelists. You know, the evangelists, they all have their own specific ways of starting their gospels. Matthew, he starts with the word commonly used for book, which in later writings acquired a sacred connotation, making it quite suitable actually for the type of book that Matthew was writing. Book of beginnings, Biblos Genesis. Evidence suggests that this word, Biblos Genesis, was used as the title of the first book of the Old Testament in Septuagint, what we call Genesis. In English, we call it Genesis. So, the beginning of Genesis was Biblos Genesis, the book of Genesis. Now, with this in mind, there's a possibility that Matthew used this word as the title of his book about a new Genesis. We have the first Genesis, but this is a new Genesis, the new creation in Jesus Christ. And as you might have noticed, the Gospel of John, which starts in the beginning, was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. John uses this exact same words as Genesis 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, enarche in Greek. Now, have this in mind. The phrase book of origin, Biblos Genesios, translates also the book of origin or genealogical scroll, and is intentionally reminiscent of the formulaic titles in the Septuagint, the Greek Old Testament, in Genesis 2:4, 5:1, for example, which introduces genealogies and historical narrative. We move on. Jesus Christ. By using Jesus Christ in the heading, Matthew emphasizes the Messianic significance of the term, though he predominantly refers to Jesus by his personal name throughout the whole narrative. It is worth noting that unlike traditional genealogies, which take their name from their progenitor, Matthew designates this genealogy based on the last member of the list, emphasizing its end goal orientation. This is not the genealogy of Abraham, but this is, with the end goal orientation, the genealogy of Jesus. Now I want to take your attention to verse 6, where Matthew introduces the theme of kingship. Now, the addition of the word king in the father of David, the king, strengthens the connection between David and Jesus as the Davidic, Messianic king, the one who has the promises connected to him. A crucial motive in Matthew's Gospel. Also, the use of the wife of Uriah instead of Bathsheba seems intentional actually, and kind of hinting and drawing attention to Uriah's righteousness in contrast to David's. Now, As the genealogy reaches David, Matthew highlights the importance of kingship. Kingship is a theme that he will explore extensively throughout the Gospel. He uses the term king in various contexts, referring to King Herod, the king in a parable, and the Son of Man which will come as king on the judgment day. By demonstrating the royal lineage of Jesus, Matthew established his rightful title as King of the Jews, which we will see in many places in 2:27. Matthew 2 and 2, and in 27 when he's before Pilate many times. 27:11, verse 29, 34, and 42. So these are some literary things that I wanted to highlight, and let's now go and look into some historical comments.